Welcome to Arizona Living. I'm your host, Danielle Lerner, kicking off the new year by introducing you to one of the Valley's newest event venues, Chicken and Pickle in Glendale. But before we show you around, here's a look at what's coming up on the show. We visit a unique art gallery in Scottsdale. We highlight a Tucson family carrying on the history of a famous restaurant. Plus, design advice to help update your space in the new year. That and much more coming up on Arizona Living. If you are looking for a fun entertainment spot to check out in the new year, Chicken and Pickle in Glendale should be on your list. Joining me now is General Manager Jeremy Shotwell. Thank you so much for having us here.
Appreciate you coming.
Okay, I walked in here and there is so much going on, so much space. Talk a little bit about this unique concept you have.
Well, I mean, it's very unique. We have, like I said, tons of space. We have tons of games. We have shift-driven restaurants. We have 3 bars. There's stuff for the whole family to do, from pickleball to cornhole to we have giant Jengas outside as well. You said tons of room. We have different rooms available for different events, all of that.
Yeah, so much to check out, so much to do and see. Now, I heard that your founder actually came up with this idea here in Arizona.
Yeah,
how did that come about?
Yeah, well, you know, he was here, I think this was back in around 2015. He was here visiting a friend, and his friend introduced him to pickleball. And he was hooked at that point. And you know, one of the things he noticed was the courts were always full. There was great social interaction. So you know, the thing popped in his head and said, you know, this works. I like this. Went back to Kansas City and started thinking about how can he get the ball rolling, and that's where it kind of spawned from.
I love it. Now I have to say, I actually recently started playing pickleball as well, and I can see why it's so addicting. So if folks are coming here, how does it work? Do you have to play pickleball in order to come and enjoy what you have here?
Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, you know, the majority of people who come here really don't even play pickleball. It's more of a social gathering type atmosphere. You know, as far as pickleball, you do, you know, reserve courts online. It's the easiest way to do it. But you can sometimes find an open court if you're here and you're here with the family and you decide to play pickleball. It does happen. It's just a good place for people to gather, eat, drink, and have fun.
I love that. And you talked about chicken earlier, so we got to talk about the menu. You have a chef-driven menu.
Yep.
Can you explain why that's so unique, why that's so important, and some of the other food that you guys offer up here?
Well, I mean, you know, with me, I've been in the restaurant business a long time, and you go to a lot of places and you test things out, and you don't see the chef-driven food. You see, you know, freezer to fryer to plate. Sure. We don't do that here. Everything's chef-driven. We have wood-fired rotisserie chicken. We do smoke all of our own meats. We have a huge smoker out back. We smoke our brisket for our baked beans, our pork. We smoke our wings. So the flavors from a chef-driven restaurant are amazing.
So you have a pretty extensive menu here. What's the most popular dish on the menu?
You know, it's called the NKC hot chicken. It's actually the most popular item we have at every venue we have in the country.
Okay.
It's a deep fried chicken breast. It has some hot sauce on it, pickles. But what makes that sandwich is we have a spicy coleslaw that goes on top. People love it.
That sounds delicious. And then you also have a pretty extensive drink menu as well.
Yeah. You know, we try to dive into our cocktail menus the same as you know, the chef drives into the kitchen menu. We have what we call a Muddy Mix, which is our version of a Bloody Mary. You know, one of the things that really I feel really good about with our cocktails is we use fresh juice, fresh Victor juice, and it has less than half the calories of a lot of other mixes that are out there.
You know, just the love and care that's going into everything. Another aspect of that is the way you give back to the community. We know community is really important to y'all here at Chicken and Pickle. So
absolutely.
What sorts of ways do you connect with the community, those around you?
You know, one of the things we do is, for example, the cup that we have here, since our hearts are local, well, we truly believe that. For every beverage that we sell, you know, we donate. We kind of change things up. Every 2 weeks, we do a different charity. We've hosted fundraisers here. We do pickleball tournaments for local charities. But our hearts are definitely local. We give our employees, they get 4 days a year to go out and volunteer at local charities as well. And we pay them to do that. So we put our money where our mouth is when it comes to local charity.
This is your first location here in Arizona?
This is our first location here in Arizona. We are definitely looking at more locations here in Arizona. It's at the top of our mind. I'm not sure where yet, but I know that we are for sure looking.
Love it. Well, we can't thank you enough for having us out
Awesome.
today and for all you guys are doing in the community. It's
I
really
appreciate it.
wonderful. And if you at home would like some more information about Chicken and Pickle, just head to their website. Another must-see spot is Anticus. This fine art gallery is rooted in rich history, and their art has the power to transform your home.
So at Anticus, we really consider ourselves to be a sanctuary for the community, a place where everybody can come in and just feel welcomed and feel like they're at home. And that's really the role of art and books in a home as well. Like, so when you have your own house that you've bought, you know, it's just a box until you've kind of started to fill it with things that have meaning to you and things that you find beautiful. So our goal really as a company is to help people create sanctuaries in their own homes so that when they walk in, they get a lot of that same feeling and culture and depth of experience at home that they get to experience here at Anticus. I'm really fortunate. I was raised by my parents who both had a real intense love for music and art, travel and adventure. And my dad was probably one of the most well-known bronze sculptors of his day. We just spent a lot of time together. I was constantly playing with clay. I was probably sculpting before I could walk. I'd work my way over to the table and play with the clay. At 14, I'd heard the story of the legend of the Spanish Mustang. And it just really spoke to me as I was riding horses quite a bit at the time. And I really enjoyed the puzzle of it. And I feel like whether it's running a business or anything in life, what I love is puzzles. And even getting to know somebody, it's like they're a puzzle, and it's working those puzzles out in life. To me, is probably my greatest joy of getting to be an artist and run a business and be part of this community here in Scottsdale is that puzzle. So special places like Anticus, independent bookstores, art galleries, they only exist with the community's support and help, and only if the community stays engaged and invested in those businesses. And I really hope that people will come to Anticus and discover it. We've been in business about 7 years, but continuing to grow and continuing to reach more people in the Valley and join our book clubs and come to our art demonstrations, and even just checking us out online at anticus.com so that they can kind of see that not only the event's coming, but be the first one to see new pieces of art and maybe even collect your first piece. And it's so exciting. Like here in the month of January, we have Bette Ridgway. She's an award-winning abstract artist coming to the gallery. We have a live demonstration by Paige Bradley. It's one of the top human form sculptors in the United States. And we even have the traveling exhibit of Dr. Seuss in town for the month, so that people get to see all these kind of different types of art, whether it's for children and you're bringing the kids by to see that, or you're getting to see somebody sculpt live here in the gallery. It's going to be a really amazing month. Make sure you visit our website to get more information about all the different types of events that we have here in the gallery and to really plug into the side of your community.
If you've never explored Arizona's national parks, then make this the year to get out and do it. The National Park Service is offering 6 free days in 2024, starting January 15th for Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Just head to the National Parks website for more information and a full list of those other free days. Don't go anywhere though, we've got much more Arizona Living coming up next. A healthcare system making a difference in local neighborhoods. And we talked to the family behind the nation's oldest Mexican restaurant.
Explore the Southwest style that makes the Grand Canyon State so unique on Arizona Living. Host Danielle Lerner takes to the road to showcase the people, places, and culture at the heart of our state, while offering up some exciting ideas for your next getaway.
Suvita Healthcare is building a better health system for Hispanic seniors and their families. Here's a closer look at how they're impacting neighborhoods.
Suvita Healthcare is primary care clinics that provide primary care to patients that are 65 years and older who are on Medicare. At our clinics, we provide services like physical therapy, nutritionists. Patients have an opportunity to meet with a nutritionist. We have a licensed clinical social worker, so they can get all these extra services at our facilities, so they don't have to travel or go elsewhere. Growing up, being first generation in the United States, I was always used as a translator because I was the oldest kid in the family. So I know and I understand the need and how sometimes it's not easy to find somebody to go to the doctor with you and use them as translators. So for me, one of the reasons I'm in Tucson is because there's a high Spanish-speaking population. So I can see the patient without having to use a translator. And I can tell you that patients, when they know you speak their language, there's so much they open up and they tell you that they would otherwise hold in and never talk to anybody or their doctors about. So for me, that's really good to see. The Hispanic population, even though they have health insurance, they don't truly utilize it because they don't know all the benefits. So they started this organization, these clinics, to address those needs and lack of information. All of our staff is bilingual. We came from the neighborhoods that our patients are coming from. We understand the culture. We know how to address the needs that they have and their concerns. We know where those concerns are coming from. So we hope to help them better understand, take full advantage of their health benefits, and really get the care they need versus just letting it go and ignoring the services that they have. We're trying to work with the patient's culture and beliefs. I know that our licensed clinical social worker asks them, how do you want me to work with you? Do you want to work in our traditional method, way of thinking, or the Western style medicine? So he gives them a choice of how they want to address this. We will be offering cooking classes, how to prepare food in a healthy way, where they can continue to cook all their traditional foods, but in a healthy way. How to combine the different foods and make it so we're not asking them to change their way of living, but to work with what they're used to working with in a healthy way. We will also be providing classes to promote exercise and movement. We also provide transportation for those patients that don't have a way of getting to the clinic. Any Medicare eligible patients 65 years and older can give us a call or stop at one of our clinics, and we'll be more than happy to help them and make an appointment for them.
El Charro Cafe in Tucson opened its doors in 1922. Now, more than 100 years later, the Flores family is carrying on the tradition.
My name is Carlota Flores. I am the chef owner of El Charro Restaurants. When I married, we moved to California, and I went to school there, and I had a small catering company. I had 2 little boys right away. After 4 years, my mother called me and told me that she had inherited this restaurant, but my aunt was still alive. She asked my husband and me to come to Tucson because his father was a builder and we knew that they wanted to sell the property. But when I walked in the door, automatically everything just started clicking in my head, and I said, I'll buy it. I don't want it to go away. I'll stay here. Within 3 months, I was back in Tucson, 2 little boys in a daycare situation, and I was here working. And my husband put together the restaurant with his dad, and we opened up with 5 cents in the register, no kidding. Every morning I would be here at 6 in the morning and work with the cooks, and we would work. We are here now 57 years later, and not only was it a good job for me, I knew though that I needed to hone up my skills, so then I went on to more education and became a certified chef. I think it was in the 60s, late 60s. But at that time, diversity was really important to a lot of groups in town. Everyone was touting diversity. And they realized that they didn't have a lot of Spanish-speaking Hispanic women on boards. At one time, I served on 14 boards. And so I made my time on the board very, noticed and very affected. Not only was I on these boards and on honing up my own chef skills, I met great chefs. I met great teachers. I worked with people that I appreciated and learned from. And it just was like I was like a sponge just taking it in. And I loved it because I love food. I really feel that not only did I love food from the presentation, I loved food from the fact of how we could take it and make people go back to taking care of themselves through food. That was important to me. And I did it, and I was very proud of that. It's exciting to be the oldest Mexican restaurant in America, but it's exciting to have a business that has withstood all that America has had to deal with in the last 100 years, or the world in general.
The weather is perfect to get out and even enjoy some of our local hiking trails. There are hikes for every level, so lace up those boots and have fun. If sitting is more your style, then don't go away, because we've got more Arizona Living coming up from Chicken and Pickle in Glendale. We'll share advice about getting the money you deserve if you're not able to work, and tips on updating your home's design. Joining me now are Eric Slepian and Brian Ellickson of Slepian Ellickson PLLC, a firm dedicated to helping people with disabilities get the government benefits they need and are entitled to. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, full disclosure, I've got to be honest, I did not know much about Social Security disability until I went to your website and started researching for this conversation. And so, Brian, just to get us started, can you lay out for us what is Social Security disability?
At its core, it's a really simple program. Social Security says that if you can't work because of a medical problem that's going to last for more than 12 months, they're going to help support you with financial benefits, with medical benefits, to allow you to focus on your health. It's sort of like a long-term disability policy for all of us.
Eric, I know there can be some misconceptions surrounding this process.
The most common misconception is that Social Security is for people who have hit retirement age. But there's a whole program for people that are unable to work. And so it's going to be dependent not on your age, but on your medical conditions and how those conditions affect you on a day-to-day basis.
It is possible to try and file these claims on your own, but Brian, why would somebody benefit from bringing in a seasoned, experienced attorney like yourself to help them navigate this process?
I mean, I said it's a very simple system at its core, but the actual procedures of it are mindlessly complex. And so bringing someone who has experience in from the beginning is going to help with filling out the application correctly. It's going to provide the correct information in the language that Social Security speaks, so that these claims aren't needlessly delayed. We see claims that go on for 2, 3, 4 years. And sometimes it's as simple as providing information in the correct way that could have circumvented a lot of that delay.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that complicated process. And so let's go a little deeper into that process since I have you here. Eric, can you walk us through what is involved in filing an SSD?
So mostly it's paperwork, and more paperwork.
Everybody loves paperwork, right?
But there are a lot of forms, and you have to make sure these forms are filled out correctly. A mistake early on may not be fixable, or it may take years to get that corrected. So it's very important that work gets defined properly, medical conditions are defined properly, and there's just good communication with the medical providers. It's complex, and it's a system that shouldn't be complex, but it is complex.
If someone out there sees this and maybe they want to move forward with their own claim or even just get some more information, Brian, what are some of the first steps in moving toward that process?
So we have a lot of great information on our website, and I'd invite all your viewers to call. We're always available to answer questions. We offer free consultations, and we're here to help.
Thank you both so much for being here with me today and for sharing this important information. For anyone out there who wants more information, just head to slepian.com. Don't go away. We've got more fun and games coming up from Chicken and Pickle in Glendale. The design experts at American Furniture Warehouse give style tips for our homes.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts, examines popular fitness trends, and explores new treatments for common conditions. Discover how the choices we make in our daily lives directly affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for leading a healthier life. Watch Your Health Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday only on YourView, or stream it online at yourview.com.
The experts at American Furniture Warehouse have some advice on sprucing up our homes for the new year.
One trend that we're seeing in furniture is the shift from straight angular lines to soft curved lines. Incorporating curved lines in your living room could add a sense of softness and even a modern or retro feel to your space. Choosing a sofa such as this one from Ashley Furniture with this textural fabric and rounded arms can really soften the look of the room. This also includes the coffee table with its rounded edges. Even the rug with its organic, flowy pattern just adds to the overall theme of the space. It's also important to decorate with accessories with rounded shapes, such as these table lamps, the vases, and the Buddha head. As always, you can find everything you've seen here and more in store and at afw.com.
We want to thank everyone here at Chicken and Pickle for having us today, a place that you should definitely keep in mind for your next family or even work outing. I'm Danielle Lerner, and we'll see you next time on Arizona Living, where we help you live an inspired life.